Welcome you back to the Patrick Netherton Show right here on 1130 The Tiger, 103.3 FM. Coming your way a week from Thursday. A week from Thursday at 7 o'clock at the historic Strand Theater will be one of the Impractical Jokers. One of our favorites, as always. I mean, there's only 4 to choose from, so he's got a 25% chance of being one of the favorites. He is Sal Vulcano. Sal, what's up, brother? How are you?
How are you? Thank you so much for the kind words.
Yeah, well, look, I will say this. You're definitely, I will say, on the list of the 4, and obviously now you're down to 3, but on the list of the 4, you're definitely not 4. So, that's one thing,
I appreciate
I guess.
it. Listen, Patrick, all I need to do is be ahead of Murray. That's all I need.
I mean, and honestly, you are. Like, and I even know Murr. I met him and hung out with him, and he's a great guy. And I hung out with Joey Fatone when they were here for GeekCon, and it was terrific. But yeah, you're still ahead of Murr. So congratulations on that, my friend.
That's amazing because I'm also recording this call for quality assurance. So I'm going to play him with this recording.
Oh, please do. Please do. Please let him know. I think he probably already knows that. It is interesting, right? Like you're in a group and people have favorites. Like, is that weird for people to tell you like, oh, you're like my second favorite Joker of the crew?
No, I mean, look, we all have our people who like us the best. So you hear it in every iteration from day one. It's like it's at this point we've gotten used to. I've gotten used to people walking up to me and like, you are my third.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, no problem. As long as you watch the show, that's terrific.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of, tell me how this all started, right? I mean, I'm blessed. I'm basically the same age as all you guys, and I have a group of 4 friends. Like we're a group of 4. We've never done anything like y'all have done with starting a comedy troupe or any of that stuff. But kind of tell me the path to get to where you are right now.
The guys that I met in high school, and we were all freshmen, we were all the same age, and we were friendly in high school, and we all started doing comedy and improv and stuff in college and out of college. And we got back out of college, we just kind of were all doing the same thing, and we decided to get together and do this comedy troupe called the Tenderloins. And I mean, that was in 1999. So, 26 years later, a quick 26 years later, we're here.
I mean, could you have imagined back then in 99 when you're getting together, like where this thing would take you?
No, not at all. I mean, like, we were doing it for the love of it and for the fun of it. And, we really grinded a lot. And I guess we just got lucky and got some opportunity that we prepared for. We had the idea for Joe. We had a lot of failures. We pitched a lot of shows and we failed at a lot of things, but this one just caught, and it's like hitting the lottery. It was amazing, and we've thrived on that and built out careers, satellite off of this. So now we all do, different things. We're all writing and acting, and I'm doing stand-up. I have a special out, and so no, never ever could imagine the successes, nor could I have imagined that. Like I'm on my way to set right now. We're filming season 12. We got over like 300 episodes, and so no, to this day, every single day, I can't believe that we've come this far and have endured the landscape of television entertainment that has changed so drastically since we started. So yeah, really, really always count my blessings there. And that's why I like kind of going on the road too. I mean, I love stand-up more than anything, but I also get to like see all the people that are watching and that are fans, and kind of interact with them and share that energy and laugh, with them on stage. It's kind of cool. It's kind of rewarding. So it's like not just like in a vacuum,
Yeah, and that's the other thing, right? Is you get to have actual tactile feedback. It's one thing to do a movie or to do a television show, and you hear that, oh, everyone likes it, everyone enjoys it, but when you're out on the road doing gigs and you're doing a show that involves the public, I would imagine that's part of the good part of it, is you get such an immediate feedback on that.
Yeah, that's the beauty of stand-up, like there's nothing like it, and it's what I wanted to do since a little kid, and I just kind of found my way into it through the show as opposed to just starting strictly with stand-up. But I love it. I just love it. I love just being up there with a mic and just kind of going with it.
Tell me a little bit about maybe the best part of this, right? Like the people you've met, like you've gotten to do things and meet people and be a part of things that I know you probably couldn't have ever imagined. What's an example or two of someone you've met or an experience you've gotten to have that really kind of would blow the high school Sal's mind?
I mean, in relation to the scope of what we've done on the show, there are tons because we have these creative ideas and then we have a team of people around us to bring it to fruition. And like, for example, there was a time a handful of seasons back that I lost and got punished, and they set up a full scale, elaborate, like real time zombie apocalypse in the
Yeah,
sewers of New York City.
yeah, yeah.
And they hired all these extras and they got everyone in zombie makeup. I had no idea what I was doing. I went down a manhole in Brooklyn and I walked down like, I mean, I really literally walked down caves and of the underground, and I found my nieces in a cage. I had to rescue them, and all these zombies started coming out from. It was just the wildest thing. I had to beat them over the bat and feed them like raw meat, and it's just like that is an example of one of the things that we're capable of with the show, and to be like playing that out like on camera and just like it's almost like a fun house that just came from our own ideas, and so like to that extent, the show affords us things that one would not even anyone would never ever get to do. And then of course, like all the places it's taken me, whether it be because of stand up or because of filming on the road, like travel episodes you call them, and all the people that we've gotten to meet in the industry, and especially me as a stand up, I grew up idolizing people, and now a lot of those people are my friends. So it's just man, it couldn't be better. It's just feel very lucky, very lucky.
Yeah, it's an amazing show. I will tell you this, I'm primarily a sports announcer. I call games for a living on ESPN, and so I was really introduced to you guys thanks to the Final Four and March Madness because
Yeah.
there was a time there where we couldn't get away from y'all on March Madness on True TV or TNT. I mean, it was you and long haul truckers or towing, backwoods towing, lizard lick towing, whatever it was. Like we couldn't get away from it, and it introduced us to the show. And then obviously you develop a love for it from there. Um, this is for you. This journey to now where you are, as you get so big, and as the Jokers continue to increase in scope, how hard is it now to actually film the show? Like, can you still find people that have no idea who you are and are still out there to be fooled?
Well, we better find them because we're filming season 7. It would be a big bummer if we don't, Patrick. No, that's one of the reasons we love filming in New York City because it's just a turnover and it's so densely populated that we find them. It's harder to film the show now than it was in the beginning, and it gets harder as we get more popular for sure. But we kind of wrote the book on this show now, and we have techniques and the show doesn't work if the person knows. So yeah, no, we are still able to do it, thankfully. I mean, if we were in a smaller area, smaller town, it can be really tough, and that's why a lot goes into making the show that people don't even realize. Like we have to get that meticulous and granular with, like, okay, we have this idea. What are different locations we can do this idea in? And then out of those locations, what are available? And then out of what's available, what will play best to this? Because we can't, we have to have this amount of turnover, or sometimes we don't want it too crowded, But as far as like in and of itself, yeah, the show must be filmed in like New York City, because we at this point after 300 episodes, thousands and thousands of people we've interacted with, it's you need that turnover of people. If one person knows me, the next doesn't. It's
Right.
that's what's great about New York City. Yeah.
How often do you get people who act like they don't know you to try to get on the show?
It happens, but they don't really. It's even more. It's rare that it happens. Like because people are not good
Yeah,
at
they're not
once
actors.
they've seen us. Yeah, once they've seen us and it registers on their face, they're not good at being themselves. and acting like they have no idea what's going on. We see right through it.
Yeah.
So most of the time, their demeanor changes drastically. Like they just seem suspicious. Like they'll step up to the counter and be like, "One pack of chewing gum, please."
Yeah.
And it's like,
Where's my camera?
Like,
Where's my camera? Who am I?
Yeah,
What am I playing to?
yeah. So every once in a while you get someone that like, and it's a bummer because it's like we put time as money and the show costs money and all these people, and it's like, so if I spend 10 minutes with somebody and they happen to fool me, and then they let me know afterward, and I'm just like, oh, we can't put you on now.
Yeah,
I
can't use
won't
that.
put you on. Yeah, and so it's like, I wish you would have just told me up front. But I understand in the moment they have a decision to make, and they don't really understand the scope of that kind of thing. So a lot of times they'll confess after, and it's like, well, now we can't use you.
Yeah. Talking to Sal Vulcano from the Impractical Jokers and doing stand-up. Tell me about why stand-up. You broke in with the Impractical Jokers. Why then the love for stand-up and doing comedy?
Yeah, that's all I wanted to do since I'm a little kid, is be a stand-up comedian. And I did a little bit during college and out of college, but I didn't I didn't go full on with it until we started with the show. And then we started touring with the show again, because we toured as an improv and sketch comedy troupe. So we started touring in 2012. And at that point, 2 years later, maybe 2016, I was like, all right, I'm going to dedicate all my free time to stand-up. I hadn't yet, had a family or anything like that, and now I do. So I just went full on every spare second I had, because I was like, this is really all I want to do. So now it's been 9 years since I've been doing it really full on. But just since a kid, it's just kind of, that's what resonated with me the most. So, yeah. By the way, I want to give you credit. You're one of and I mean this, you're in the 1% of people that pronounce my last name correctly.
Okay, can I? Let me tell you a story then about that.
Yeah.
Your
Okay.
your publicist, producer, assistant, whoever it is that I'm dealing with. I literally texted her. I sent her a note and said, "How do you pronounce his last name? Is it Vulcano or is it Vulcano?" And the reason why is because I call games for a living, and I have a roster of 40 kids, and I better get their names right. Like, that's the number one thing that I have to do, is pronounce a name right. Yeah, I went up to a kid one time, Sal. He was our starting quarterback for a year, and we had mispronounced his name for a year. Even we'd asked him how to pronounce it. And I go up to him right before the first game of year 2. Dude, how do you pronounce your name? Is it Clement or is it Claymont? Because he's from South Louisiana. It's spelled Clement. Is it Clement or Claymont? And he goes, I don't really care. And I go, no, you don't get to tell me you don't care. Like, this is your name, dude. Like, I have to pronounce your name how you pronounce it. And he goes, well, my mom would probably like it if you call me Claymont. And I'm like, done. That's how your mom is going to pronounce it. That's how we're pronouncing it. So yeah, I specifically asked that question.
I tip my cap to you, because nobody asked that question. And I've actually just come to accept Vulcano as, another pronunciation of it that I'm fine with, because it's like literally 99% of people. But the fact that you asked, because not a lot of people say, so as soon as you said it, I was like, oh, wow. So good on you.
Well, again, that's part of my job, brother. That's what we do. Hey, performing at the Strand on Thursday, a week from Thursday, actually, in Shreveport. A, do you know anything about Shreveport? And B, you need to make sure you spend a little time in the Strand. It is one of the most historic theaters in the country. It's a designated historic site. It is absolutely gorgeous. But do you know anything about Shreveport? And do you do any local stuff in your act?
So, A, I do not know anything about Shreveport. I'm excited to learn. 2, I have heard about the Strand, and so I'm excited to get in a little bit early and soak it all in. And D, if I can quote Buzz from Home Alone,
yes.
A, 2, and D.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes I do. I do crowd work up top at the beginning, and a lot of times I'll just kind of ask the staff of the theater about some stuff, or I'll do a quick read on it, and just to get a little bit of a, So I welcome all interesting facts or things I should know for sure.
Well, interesting fact about Shreveport is most of it now is owned by 50 Cent. He is.
I did not know that.
No. This is one of our favorite little factoids currently going on Shreveport. 50 Cent has just, for some reason, moved in. He bought a movie studio. He bought a bunch of buildings and a bunch of land, and apparently he's building a whole complex. Yeah, he had a whole party several months ago where he brought in a bunch of big name acts, and they had a big tent downtown. And it was a whole thing. Yeah, so 50 Cent owns a lot of Shreveport now. I don't know why that
That
is, but there
that
you go.
it sounds made up. It's fascinating.
No,
I
it
love that.
sounds made
I will
up.
make
It is
sure
absolutely real. Uh,
I will make sure to change my walkout song. I'm gonna walk out to a 50 Cent song. I'm in
well,
the know now. I'll come out. That is such good. Usually I'm like, tell me about your city. They're like, well, we like to export potatoes, and I'm
right.
like, all right, that's fine. But no one drops something like, oh, 50 Cent bought the town. That
Yeah.
I can have a field day with.
Yes, you should have a lot of fun with 50 Cent owning the town. You'll be you're going to be within a few blocks of 50 Cent's compound too. So,
Is
you know,
that
you'll be
right?
yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Like, why Shreveport, Louisiana, is being bought out by 50 Cent, I couldn't even tell you. I have no idea why that is, but it is,
All right.
and yeah, we're having parties and everything. It's a good time. Hey, but beyond the crowd work, kind of give us an idea of what a Sal Vulcano stand up is like.
Yeah, for sure. So my first special came out this year. It's called Terrified. It's streaming on Max right now, and
Hmm.
that was kind of more stories from my life from childhood into like my adulthood of like fear-based things that happened and shaped who I am. This new tour, for the first time ever, I'm kind of getting a little more personal. So for me, I really was very private in my life. I didn't really discuss my family at all. But just this past year, as I was promoting my other special, I kind of like just let the cat out of the bag that I'm married, I have a kid and everything. And so in my past, even on the show, like I really never, even in my podcast, I never really speak on that front. I never get into detail. But so you do get to see a completely other side of me in this tour, especially if you're a fan, because I actually do get into a lot about my family and my child and my wife and things like that.
That's it's going to be
So it's
amazing.
way more personal. Yeah, yeah.
And look, the personal stuff is where the funniest stuff is often mined. It really is. Like
Sure.
it's
Sure.
we all can relate. Sal, safe travels to Shreveport. Enjoy your time here. I hope that you get to run into 50 Cent somewhere and say hello. I hope he's running around the Strand next Thursday, coming up on the 15th, 7 o'clock. Get your tickets. Go see Sal. He is hysterical, and we are definitely looking forward to having you in town, brother.
Oh, right on, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, that's Sal Vulcano from the Impractical Jokers.